What is up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel, and if you are new, welcome. My name is Meg, and today I'm doing a no brand full face makeup tutorial. I really wanted to focus today's video more on the artistry and how to apply products that you already have and to make it work, to make everything look nice, to get a good base, to do like a bright, sparkling, colorful eye, and I hope you guys like it. And if you're truly interested in products that I use, check out my Instagram, MakeupByMegB. Link will be down below for that. But today I just really have been into playing with colors lately, in case you couldn't tell by my most recent uploads. I don't know what my issue is in summer. I was so uninspired by everything, but now that summer is almost over, actually summer probably is considered to be over, but I'm just like holding on to it as tight as I can. But now that summer is basically over, I don't know what has come over me that I've just been so obsessed with doing bright, colorful looks. I really wanted to base my look off today off of a neon green. So enough chit chat. I'm going to show you how to get this entire look, and let's get into it.
To get things started, I am taking a very bright lime, like lemon lime green color on a fluffy brush, and I'm stamping this onto my crease. I just set my base with the concealer, or I should say I use concealer as a base, and I did not set it because I really want the pigment of the shadows to shine through and be the star of my makeup today. So sometimes setting with a powder and then going in with bright colors, they get a little bit veiled from the translucent powder or whatever you may set it with. I want the colors to be bright and popping out as much as possible, so not setting your base really helps with that. The best way to work with a tackier base is to just stamp the shadow where you want it, and then once you have the powder laid down, you can kind of go back and forth and wiggle your brush around to blend any edges out. And I just took this from outer corner to inner corner. I'm keeping this more of a rounded shape. I'm not really trying to do a sharp outer edge. To use as kind of a mix of a transition shade slash brow bone shade, I'm taking a bright yellow on the same brush, and I'm lightly gliding over the edges of the lime green. So I have my brush 50-50, so like 50% of the color is going on top of the green and the other half of the brush is going on the base. To deepen the crease, I'm taking a true green. I guess you could say it's kind of like a grass green. And here I'm doing 50-50 with the brush again, 50% on the crease and then 50% onto the lid. And I'm just gonna work on placing this color down and then going back and forth to blend it out. I'm not gonna blend it out too much because I don't want to lose the lime green and the brightness from that. So once I'm happy and have this laid down and packed on how I want it, I will go back over with the original first eyeshadow color to re-brighten it. I'm taking that true green color on a flat shader brush, or a concealer brush would work really well. Anything that's pretty flat and thin, that's really gonna pack color on. And I'm just gonna put this on the inner and outer corner of my lid, and this is gonna give us a halo shape. You don't have to be super specific with the placement of this because we're using glitter later, so it's an easier fix and it's an easier way to do a halo eye. I'm creating a little bit of a spotlight eye with some concealer, so I'm looking where my pupil is to determine the middle of my eye, and I'm taking that concealer slightly above where my eyelid, where my mobile lid folds, so that color will peek just a hint out. When my eyelid is open, you'll be able to see a slight hint of that color. So once I have the two concealer marks laid down, I'm just gonna feather out the edges. I do this with the brush, and then you can also pat the edges of the concealer with your finger to help blend it. I was concentrating so hard I forgot to look up to make sure I was in frame, but I'm just taking my finger and applying that original lemon lime color onto the center of my lid. No, it looks a little bit wonky right now, but it's part of the process. It's just one of those looks that looks a hot mess until the end. I just wanted to have a really light base underneath the glitter. Okay, cool. My camera overheated, so I didn't get myself applying the glitter, but basically I just took one of those glitter bases that already come together. You just literally apply it right directly onto your eye. I just put that right on top the yellow, so you can see underneath the glitter there's that hint of brightness going on. And I just took a liquid liner and did a thin line. Now I took the same concealer, brushed that under my under eyes so I could start to get my lower lash line going. And here I'm taking kind of a metallic pinky purple shade, and I'm bringing this in pretty low to the inner half of my eye. Now I'm taking this really beautiful aquamarine sea blue color. I just love how this pops. And I'm adding that to the outer corner. I'm gonna blend the two shadows together. I'm also going to blend this up towards the green and just really feather it out. So I use a little bit of a fluffier pencil brush to achieve this. Before we finish off the eyes, I'm just going to apply my foundation and concealer. For this look, I use a combination of a dewier foundation with a CC cream. And here I'm taking that original lemon lime shade, and I'm just going to smoke out the blue and purple with that and tie it up into the crease. So I kind of have that ring of a yellow glow around my entire eye. I wanted a pop of bright sparkle in the inner corner of my eye to go along with the glitter that's on the center of my eye. So I laid down a glitter glue, and I'm going in with a gold shimmer, and I'm really packing that on. I'm talking like probably 5 layers until I got it to look how I wanted. When I'm doing these colorful looks and using matte shadows, I love taking a super bright white highlight and popping that onto my brow bone. It just adds an extra wha-bam factor to the entire look. Makes it a little bit more Instagram-like, I guess you could say, and it brings attention to the entire eye. So we have the glitter on the center of the lid, the inner corner, and now we're gonna have a really nice glow coming off our brow bone. Off camera, I added mascara, falsies, and my eyebrows. Moving along to the rest of the face, I am lightly patting on my contour. I have been guilty about being lazy when it comes to the rest of my face because I'm just ready to get it done with. So I'm pretty guilty of doing the stripe of just taking the brush and dragging it back and forth. But today I really wanted to take my time and do patting motions and slowly add and build the contour, bronzer, and blush. So that is the technique I went with today, and I was so happy with how this turned out. My makeup just looks so much softer and more natural as far as you can look naturally contoured, but I was really happy with this technique. It did take a little bit more time, but the result was worth it. I always like to lay my contour down first, and then I go over top similar areas with my bronzer. With the bronzer, I just go the teensiest bit higher than what I did with my contour, and I feel it adds a really nice glow to my face. I am not much of a blush person, so I like to use muted rosy blushes, and I like to focus most of the blush back on my cheekbones because, again, I like adding to that heavily contoured look. It just adds a nice flush of color. And then what is ever left on my brush, I do tend to focus more on the apples of my cheeks. So here you can see the difference between both sides. My left side just had a little bit more color to the face, and it just looks softer and pretty. I'm sure we've all had those moments once we get our face on and we get an itch somewhere, so you have to get creative with how you scratch that itch. So here I am trying to do that with the brush. Now it is time to get serious with highlight, and if you are a subscriber of mine, you know I don't mess around with the highlight. I don't cheap out on the highlight. I use 3 different highlights. So I really like to start off with a more natural highlight, and I put this kind of everywhere from like the tops of the apples of my cheeks all the way up around my temples, by my brow bone, above my eyebrows, on my chin, Cupid's bow, down my nose, and I love putting this one as a base everywhere because it's a more natural glow from within highlight. and is a little bit softer looking, not as harsh. And then you'll see in a second, I will go ham with the next one. You can also see this brush that I'm using is pretty fluffy, so it's going to kind of blend the product out more. And this one, I'm going in with the same highlight I use on my brow bone with a more condensed brush, so you can see how more intense that is. And because this brush isn't as fluffy, it's gonna pack the product on more. I really wanted to have that nice glow connecting from my brow bone down to my cheeks. So that is where I really packed it on, and I also like to go in with a heavy hand with this highlight on my nose and Cupid's bow. It looks a bit much now, but once you put a setting spray, it just melts right into your skin and it looks really nice. And if you ever feel like you went a little bit too hard, you can always go in with a dual fiber brush to blend things out. Lastly, I like to go in with a blush topper. It's mostly because this highlight is super golden. You can kind of see how it brought a little bit of a gold sheen down in my apples of my cheeks. I feel like that looks nicer and a little bit more natural than having more of like the white cast on my cheekbones. So right here you can see the difference, and I'm using a very fluffy, big tapered blending brush to apply this because I don't want it to be too much. I mostly use this because I have this highlight that's super gold toned and it's too dark for me to wear on my actual cheekbone, so it's a way for me to incorporate a product that I have without wasting it. And because I'm not much of a blush person, this just adds that little hint of color that much more to my cheekbones for me. Setting spray, I really wanted to do it up and have this bright look, but also have a really nice sheen. Luna came in to say hello, as always. But I'm using a dewier setting spray, and I just pile this stuff on and I fan it dry. Alright, so I'm really rocking my RBF here because I went through 2 different lip colors I absolutely hated. So hopefully third time is a charm. So I'm just taking a nude. This is like a brownie nude lip liner, and I'm just slightly overlining my lips the teensiest bit. I followed Lusterlux or Katie's video on lip lining, and that's kind of been my vibe since she put that out, so I'm glad she put that video. I'll have it linked down below if you're interested. But I'm outlining my lips and then contouring my lips with it too, so the outer corners I'm going to be filling in. There is my not happy face because it's still too brown. I swear I struggle so hard to find the perfect pinky nude for pale skin tones. So if you have any recommendations, please leave it in the comments below. I was trying to lighten it up with this lip pencil. Didn't really work because the lip liner was so dark. Normally this does the trick for me, but I still wasn't quite there. So I'm gonna add one more thing and cross my fingers it works. My last attempt at fixing this is using a liquid lipstick. It kind of brought me to the pinky nude. I just wish it was a little bit lighter, but I'm happy I got to this place because there's nothing worse than spending all this time and then not being able to get a lip color right, but that's part of the fun of playing with makeup and also part of the frustration.
Now that the part of the video where I put 30 million lip products on my lips trying to find the right one is over, I'm still not happy with it, but I'm gonna call it quits. This is gonna be it for today. I really hope you guys enjoy this more get ready with me artistry type video, playing with color. I don't know what my issue is with color in the fall, but it is what it is. I'm here for it. I'm happy with how this turned out. I hope you guys found this video interesting. Hope you liked it. If you guys ever try any of my looks, please tag me MakeupByMegB on Instagram or use the hashtag. I would love to see your recreations, or if you are inspired by something of my work, I would love to see that as well. Leave me a comment down below what you'd like to see next on my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to subscribe, of course. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.